Okay, so I just wanted to come in and do a little greenhouse update. We are currently expecting a hurricane in a couple days, so I moved all of my porch plants into the greenhouse so that they would be safe. Hopefully my greenhouse is safe. So what you're looking at here is potatoes. These are purple potatoes in a bag. Purple potatoes in a bag. So they're coming along nicely. They look pretty good, pretty healthy. I suppose maybe there's too many in there as usual. My cucumbers are looking a little lame-o. And that's probably, again, because I put too many in. I get a little too excited. And I think, oh, I want hundreds of cucumbers. Do I? It is definitely flowering a lot. But lots of flowers and no cucumber buds yet, so that was a big failure. Most likely. We'll see. Maybe we'll get a cucumber, but I doubt it. It is nice and warm in here, though. I closed the vent, and it is a lot warmer and more humid in here, so it's nicer in here than outside, unless you're working and sweating like I am, and then it's not nicer in here. So these are tomatoes. I think these are Roma tomatoes. A whole bunch growing there. Oh yeah, oh yeah. So they seem to be happy even though they're smashing into the roof and then falling over. I've had to like hold them up a bunch of times, but it smells good in here. And they seem to be growing. I don't have any red ones yet. I don't know if that's maybe what's happening, but I did plant them late too, so could be that. I also have a little pepper. I had a second one there. You can see on the stem, but the two of them were resting against each other, and then it got a little bruise. So my big one had to go in the compost because it was all moldy and gross. So anyways, that sucked. And yeah, my rainbow char isn't doing good. I overcrowded this. I knew I was going to, but yeah, the kale's doing okay. But really, this should have just been some lower plants, like maybe peppers and kale and maybe some Swiss chard or something, and a tomato should have planted on the bottom. But anyway, next year, hopefully next year actually, we'll have like a second bin here where I can have a whole separate kind of plants. So in behind there is some marigolds, and it looks like, oh, there is a little marigold right there. Looks like it's gonna bud. They're doing great in here. I don't know why, but they love it. And I just found out marigolds are edible, so guess what I'll be snacking on today? They're looking pretty yummy. Pretty sure I can eat. I don't know if the whole plant is, but I know the flowers are. And these are just some lettuce going to seed, some romaine lettuce. Speaking of going to seed, here's some basil. It's going to seed too. So I think I might collect my seeds this year and see what happens. I had to move two of my pepper plants out of there because there's another one that's tucked in here, but it's not doing very well. And these ones weren't doing very well either. So I moved them, but I think the time has passed for them to produce fruit, but we'll see. And then I got my my little thyme here, which is doing pretty well in a little bucket. I was hanging on the deck. Got some strawberries. I just ate the most delicious red strawberry from here, and it was amazing. So I think I'll always grow my strawberries in pots because they do so much better, and I can move them away from the squirrels. Not that we have squirrels, but chipmunks or whatever happens to be eating them. My pineapple plant is growing pretty fast considering it's a pineapple. So I'm going to have to repot that one soon. It's getting kind of large. And my onion is growing. Looking pretty good. My rosemary, not so good. Tall, just not green. So, I don't know. Smells alright. Sure, it's fine. I got my first lavender bud. Woohoo! Finally. Got my 2 lavenders in here. And, yeah, that's pretty much it for the flowers. And the greenhouse. I had to take out the ground cherries. They are growing like crazy, even though I'm like literally butchering them. I took them out, put them in buckets, and they're like, woohoo! They're just growing like crazy. You can see a whole bunch of them on the ground there. Turns out I don't really like them, so I'm guessing they're just going to go to seed on the ground, and next year I'm going to have a whole bunch more of them. But yeah, in case you haven't seen these before, you kind of pop them open and there's this little fruit, and I guess you leave it on the counter for a couple days and then eat it, and it tastes like pineapple mango tomatoes, which I thought, I don't really like tomatoes raw, so maybe I'd like pineapple and mango, but no, it tastes really weird. It's like sweet at first and it has this weird aftertaste, which is kind of like wah wah. Freaked me right out. I do have some corn growing over here. I don't know how well it's going to do, but I guess I should bring that in for the hurricane too. I don't know. I don't want it to go flying around. But what I'm pretty impressed of is this really pathetic looking apple tree. Sorry, Mr. Apple Tree, but you know, you're kind of getting a little bare. It's still producing pretty good fruits. So let's see. Yeah, so I've got left probably about 20 apples, but they all look really good, and unfortunately they're Macintosh, which is not my favorite. But to be honest, if you pull them right off the tree, and none of, like, these are really good, like there's not too many wormholes actually. In a lot of them there's none. They're like perfect apples from the grocery store. But anyways, yeah, if you pull them off right from the tree, they are, I don't know if I can get this guy. This is the problem. I'm too short for apples. Ugh. Yeah, so, oh, this one's a little bit bruised, but all the other ones I pulled out were pretty amazing. Anyways, if you pull it off and give it a clean and you eat it right away, let's do that. It actually doesn't taste that bad. They're a little sour and they're crispy. So wash all that stuff off. Yeah. Super sour. Mike hates them. I love them sour. If we're talking Macintosh, they gotta be right off the tree. Because the skin is not as thick. I find that when you take them off and you leave them in the house for a couple of days, even if you leave them in the fridge, the skin gets really thick, like gross Macintosh skin, and I don't really like it. But yeah, we got some pretty good looking apples, considering we don't have too many of them. So I feel like not a bad season, considering there's only 2 of us and only one of us eats the apples. Our Gala apple tree, this is another Mac right here. These 2 over here are dying, dead, pretty much. Oh, there's an apple. There's a couple apples on this one, way at the top. I wonder what kind of apples they are. Oh, I don't know. Let's test my camera zoom. Yeah, I don't know. There's only a couple on them, but the bottom part of this tree is just not great. Not sure if those are apples or not, but there's no apples on them, so maybe not, unless there's apple trees that don't have fruit. I don't know how that works. I haven't learned about trees yet. One day. There's the cherry tree. And I did get some sweet cherries off this little guy this year too, but it was, they were little tiny cherries, so I'm not sure if they were choke cherries. I didn't actually eat them because they were so small. They look like, I don't know if they were choke cherries or sweet cherries, but like obviously this tree needs to be pruned very badly, so that could be part of it, and it could just be a small cherry that I don't know about. This is the other very dead apple tree. It's a gala apple though, and there's 3 left. 3, 6, 7, 8. 8 apples left in this tree, which you can't really see from down here. And then this baby, which the deer love and have probably contributed to killing, as well as porcupines. Apparently porcupines like to go up into the fruit trees and they suck on the branches and pop all the leaves and the fruit off. And as it turns out, which I wasn't paying attention to before, here's a little blueberry patch. This year we decided to leave big patches of uncut grass for the deer and for the bumblebees. So all of this is uncut. I put in some hostas for the deer, and they made a nice little snack out of that. And also some over by this rock. Let's see. I planted hostas, and you can see they ate all the leaves off of it. Which is fine, because that's why I put it there. You know, I'd like to have the deer in the yard, so I want to make sure that they got good food to eat so that they're not going hungry, and so their little babies can eat. Probably going to regret that decision at some point, but for now, that's what they're eating. Okay, so here's a little apple. Don't know what kind it is. Looks like gala, but I really don't know. I don't know that many apples, but look at all the apples on this tree. For a pretty crusty old tree. And it's very tall. There's tons more. It's a very tall apple tree. And there's tons more apples at the top. But you can't even climb it. Like this, the trunk is just one straight shot up. You need a really tall ladder. And yeah. Nixie, where'd you go, bud? Oh, there you are. You okay, bud? I'll get you some water in a minute. And I found another apple tree over here, which is kind of fun. And this one has green apples, and it always looks so dead, but somehow still it's producing fruit. I don't know how this works, but they look like Golden Delicious, I'm gonna say. Yeah, let's see, it looks like Golden Delicious. Here's another one. It could be Ginger Gold, but if it's Ginger Gold, I'm getting a ladder and I'm going up there and I'm getting the 3 apples that are on there. It's one of my favorite apples, but I doubt it. These trees are pretty old, I'm guessing, so I don't know if Ginger Gold is a old apple from a long time ago or if that's more new. So I'll take down I had to take down my curtains and all the stuff on the deck because I don't know what's going to happen with the hurricane, but I don't want it blowing all over the place. I'm going to cut some of those marigolds. I have a dill, so I'll probably take the dill off. Maybe some of the marigolds, make a salad. Yeah, maybe. Maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. These are my favorite. Look at how pretty they are. I had to tie them up because they all fell on the ground and they didn't want to stay up. Guess what I found out? The leaves, I'm still carrying this apple around. The leaves of sedums are edible. And apparently, I don't know how they did this, but apparently you can open up the leaves. It's like aloe. You can open up the leaves and like blow into them, so they like blow up like a little balloon or something like that. I'm not sure. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Got sedums, hostas are also edible, in case anyone was wondering. You can eat the baby shoots in the spring, and you can eat the leaves that get more bitter as they get older. And I have heard that they can make you sick if they're too old. So eat the baby shoots. The leaves the flowers don't taste like anything, but you can eat them, I think. The roots are all edible as well. Yeah, found out a lot of edible stuff because I'm building an edible garden. So a lot of things that I didn't think were edible are, and it's very exciting. So anyways, I think I'm going to wrap that up. That's just a little update of what's going on in the farm. And I don't see any dogs, so I think maybe I'll head back in the house and make myself a snack. Till next time.